Hello, in this video we are going to actually learn how to use quizzes. So in the last video you set up your Google form as a quiz. You went to the settings and you determined that this form is now a quiz. But we didn't go any further than that, and now we're going to talk details about how to actually utilize this form now as a quiz. You'll notice in the top right section it says total points 9, and that's based on what's already entered into this sample form. Yours is going to probably be different. It might have 1 point per question, it might have 0 points per question, but you're about to change that, and I'm going to show you how. So in this first example form, in the first two questions, I had put first name and last name. Automatically, when I made this a quiz, it made each of those 1 point. I don't want my students to earn points by entering their name. So I've already changed it to 0 points. Let me show you how. Now that your form is a quiz, there's a new icon in the bottom left of each question, and it says answer key. It looks like a little clipboard with a check mark. That answer key, if you click that, it takes you to a new tab version of that question. It's like a behind the scenes. So it has my question, and it has add correct answer, because I've added this as a short answer question. So if I wanted to ask a student to tell me what kind of flower this is, and I make it a short answer, I can put in rose as the correct answer, and Google will check for that specific answer and mark it right or wrong. For their name, I'm going to get a variety of names, and I don't need it to be graded. So I'm going to leave that blank. I'm going to change the point value to 0. So you'll see that it's at 0. If it's at 1, I just click the bottom arrow, or I can highlight this and enter the number 0. There's an option to add answer feedback, and we'll look at that in a later question. And you can also mark all other answers incorrect. So if I did put rose as the correct answer, everything else that a student types would be wrong if I were to check this box. If I don't check that box, it will not grade the question, but I can go in manually and view whether or not answers are correct or incorrect. So we'll look at that later. This, as their first name, I want it worth 0 points, and any answer is fine. Then I go back to edit question, and that takes me to the first view. I've already done the same thing with the last name question so that it's worth 0 points, and they don't have to type anything specifically to get it right or wrong. The next section has this rose picture that we added, and I have answer options. This is a multiple choice question. So I'm going to click on this question, then I'm going to click answer key, and in the top right corner, you're going to see that it's worth 4 points. I put that in randomly. It'll auto fill to 1 point probably, and you can change this to whatever you want. So I'm going to make it 2 points. So I'm going to push the down arrow twice, and now it says 2 points. I have the picture. The question is, what kind of flower is this? And I have 4 multiple choice options: rose, petunia, daisy, and dandelion. You'll notice that rose is clicked to be correct. If I unclick it, now no answer is correct. And if I click another one, that one is correct. Whatever I choose, and then you can choose more than one like this, whatever you choose, Google will automatically grade based on your answer. I'm going to leave rose checked. All the other answers are incorrect, and I'm going to click edit question again. So now if I look at my question, I'll see that it is worth 2 points. It'll tell me right next to the answer key icon, so I don't have to click it every time. And you can go back and edit that if you wanted to, just by clicking that icon again. I usually mark all questions required, only so students don't accidentally skip a question. I know that some students don't know an answer, but I let them guess if they're unsure. The worst that they can do is get it wrong. You can toggle this on and off for any question, or you can leave it off and just have them go through. If a required question is set on, it means that they can't click submit or next until they've answered all the questions on the page. All right, the next question we have is, do you know the answer? And I have this as a short answer text question. So this is not a great question, obviously, but what I want to show you is if I click answer key, I can change the point value, and I can also add a correct answer. So I'm going to write, yes, I know the answer. Now, I can add another correct answer, so I can say, yeah, I do. And I can add as many correct answers as I want. And if I click mark all other answers incorrect, anything that is varying from those answers that I put in is marked wrong. Now, the thing with Google is, in this Google form, that means if I put, yes, I know the answer without that little comma, that means it's wrong. So you want to make sure punctuation counts, capitalization counts, spelling counts. So typically, I turn this off. I put as many variations of the right answers as I can think of just to save me some time when I do grade them by hand. But then I manually go in to check the answers, to check for spelling mistakes and things like that. That is totally optional for you. You don't have to put any correct answers if you don't want to, and you can grade it all just by looking at them. And I'll show you how to do that in another video. So those are your options. And then you can click edit question. It'll take you back to the view. I'm going to show you one more feature here before I send you off to another video. In this last question here, I am going to add some options here and go to the answer key. And you'll see that there is a option for add answer feedback. Now, this is a really cool feature that you can do depending on what the purpose of your quiz is. So if I click add answer feedback, you can put in feedback for students that got the question incorrect or that got them correct. And the feedback can be different for each. So if they got the answer wrong, I can explain where they might find the right answer. I can teach a mini lesson right here, or I can add why they may have gotten it wrong. In the correct answers, I can say, way to go, you noticed that blah, 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 and just a little refresher, a little bit more information than what the question asked, and just a little tiny review. What's also neat in this feedback is I can link to anything and I can attach a YouTube video. So if incorrect answers, if they maybe picked the wrong choice, you can send them to a video that reteaches the material. It could be a video of you, or it could be a video you find on the internet, and you can attach it there. They can rewatch it and go, oh yeah, that's why I made that mistake. So that's a really neat feature that you can add to your quiz too. In the next video, we'll dive a little bit deeper into how to use quizzes, but go ahead and play with making your quiz an actual quiz.